Hey, welcome. My name is Jeff Harrison, and I'm excited to share something with you today that I think you're going to find interesting, and maybe you can use it in your business, whether you're doing it personally or professional. And if you're a local business, which I tend to work with, this is going to make a lot of sense for you. Today's topic is all about engagement and using video. Most of the time when we think about video, it becomes expensive, it's challenging. I'm not an actor, I'm nervous on camera, all those things. Do I have the right equipment? And so today I want to kind of dispel some of those things. And the easiest way to do it is, and I'm going to show you the tool that I like using a lot nowadays. It's not just the tool, it's a tool that I use. We've tried others in the past. This is actually the best. I'm just going to kick this on and you can watch this because this kind of explains it all in a nutshell.
Where you record doesn't matter. What you're wearing doesn't matter. Welcome to Avatar 5. Record once and create yourself anywhere.
Like presenting the biggest pitch of your career, hosting your podcast from the top of a mountain, teaching a 1-hour masterclass from Paris. Every video, any version of you. Now let's create yours.
So this is called Avatar 5 or Avatar V. I'm not sure exactly what they call it, but I'm going to call it Avatar 5. It just seems to make sense when there's a V there, a new Roman numeral number 5. As I said, I've been creating videos for local businesses for quite some time. We're going into our 16th year of creating content for businesses, and we've done thousands and thousands of videos over those years. And it's true, some of the things it can be expensive, depending on how you're going to shoot this. It's also sometimes very challenging for business owners who, let's face it, you're an HVAC owner, a company owner, and I'm asking you to get in front of the camera and read some lines and do these particular things. Those can be challenging. Well, this product from HeyGen, creating what we call avatars, changes all that. And in a nutshell, what it basically means is, it means that you can, just like like we showed there on the video, in 15 seconds, you can record this in anything that you're wearing. And then through just telling it how you want to show up, I want to be in a suit and I want to be sitting on a desk on Mount Everest and I'm doing my podcast. Yes, that can happen. And it's very easy to do. Now, I say it's easy, but just literally 2 weeks ago, it was virtually impossible. It was pretty difficult to do that. You had to really be a tech wizard, which I'm not, to put this together, although some of my close friends would call me a geek. But the cool thing about it is you can set these up to have many different things. And I'm just going to show you a couple things that we've done. Let's go back to this. And I'll give you an example. We just created a video for a client, and the video was said, hey, can you make my dog talk and be the face, if you will, of my business? I said, yeah, give it a shot. Let me have it. So I basically took that image of the dog and I created this video. And I'll let you see it here real quick. I've done some additional editing before we put it out, and it hasn't been approved yet. So don't tell anybody I'm showing this. But basically, this is how it turned out.
Hey, it's Cosmo, and I just turned 1. And guess what my brother-in-law Chuck got me for my birthday? A brand new set of golf clubs. Yeah, apparently it's time I start taking my game seriously. Good thing I've got the best place to practice, right here at Back 9 Rancho Mirage. You should come check it out. And when you do, make sure you say hi to me. I'll be the one working on my short game. Hey, it's Cosmo.
Now, this was all done by this prompt that I have over here. And I basically created the prompt, told about the scene. I added some ideas in there and then asked it to make this video. And this is what it came up with. Now, this isn't the final version. I actually have another version, which is kind of fun because it was a challenge because the business owner said, hey, you know what? This is a dog that's turning 1. We want to have more of a youthful voice. And, a lot of things, this is kind of an edge case where most of the voice synthesizers like 11 Labs, which is the leader in the market, in my opinion, that we've used for years, it doesn't really have youthful or children's voices on there. So it's one of those things I said, well, what if I could design the voice so within HeyGen, you can actually go in there and design the voice. And so we said, hey, we want to be very youthful. So this is the version with the useful voice, just to hear what you, and again, keep this in mind. This is just me having some ideas. Let's put together prompts. Let's put it in there and let's see what it comes up with. Here's the difference.
Hey, it's Cosmo, and I just turned 1. And guess what my brother-in-law Chuck got me for my birthday?
So can you hear the difference in that voice? So basically what I did is I went into ChatGPT and I said, hey, this is what we're trying to achieve. Write the voice prompt for HeyGen, and I'm going to design the voice for that. And now what I've done is if the client likes that, that becomes the voice for Cosmo along with the image in every video we make. So there's the consistency going along there. Now, of each video, we don't lose the voice and we don't lose the image. And character consistency across many different videos has always been a challenge. And I say always, we've only been doing this for about a year, but it becomes a challenge. We call it drift. And so eventually, you know, what happens is the eyes look different, a nose looks different, the hairstyle is different. There's noticeable changes that, wait a minute, that's not Cosmo anymore. That's somebody else. Or in this case, if it were a person, it would look like it's somebody else. So these are the couple things that you can do that can make a big difference. Now, I want to take us back and let's go back to this just for a second. And let's go back home. And I'm going to show you some other examples of this. I have another client that, let's see, he has a mortgage company. And so what we did is we started making videos. These are all videos of this gentleman. His name is Art Alvarez. He has a mortgage company called Mortgage Works in Palm Springs. And I won't play the whole thing, but I want you to get a feel of how this looks and how engaging it looks. And it doesn't matter which one I grab. Let's just grab this one.
You know, for years, we've been told there's only one way to buy a home. You save up, you buy it yourself, and that's the path. But today, that model is changing fast. Let's be real for a moment. Rents are high, in some cases really high. And every single month, you're writing a check that builds someone else's wealth.
Now, for me, I get excited about this because this takes on his mannerisms, the pausing in his voice, the inflections, and all I basically do is I write a script for this avatar and then have it read it. And it reads it in Art's voice. It has his tonality. It has his inflections. And here's the thing, and I just did this last week. I spoke to a group in Palm Springs, California, realtors in the real estate industry. And I said, you know, one of the things we don't want, this is the biggest pushback when we talk about AI, is we don't want to sound like a robot. Yes or yes. I mean, you know, we don't want to sound like a robot. Well, here's the thing. First of all, thank you guys for joining us. We got Great Globe -JHC and hello. And then it says, no, you're not the only one watching. Say hi back. Yeah, thanks for joining us. But here's the cool thing is it allows you to basically have many videos. For that industry, I said, what if you could, as an example, create videos where you're doing a walkthrough for a new property and you're doing a voiceover? Could you do that? They said yes, but we don't want to sound like a robot. We don't want to look like a robot. Well, now we have the availability with his HeyGen 5 or V that they've come out with to basically say, I can actually be walking through that house as I'm doing, let's say, an open house, a virtual open house. Well, this could make a big difference for a lot of real estate agents who now say, you know, you're out of the area. Like we live in a destination property here in Southern California where people come and stay for the winter and then go home in the summer because it gets too hot, but they have second homes and they may be thinking about buying in this area. Well, imagine if you did a walkthrough of some homes and now you have somebody interested in Idaho that wants to come down here and buy a house. And you say, let me send you a walkthrough there. And you don't have time for a walkthrough. So what we do is we say, okay, let's load the pictures up and then let's load a video up and let's put it out. And you're the one doing the presentation. And it turns out like the video we saw with Cosmo, the dog, it will actually create the video from that prompt. And now you as the agent, or just think about this, you as the business owner, you can now do what you're good at, running your business, not being in front of the camera and trying to memorize lines or come off like that you're comfortable in front of the camera. This all changes with this. So I'm curious, for those of you, we've had a nice group on here. What are one of these things that you could do with this if you think about this? Like, as an example, I have several podcasts. I do a lot of live streaming, but every week we make videos for our clients. So let's go back to some of these examples. Now, with art, I have about 5 or 6 examples of art, and we can choose many different videos. So as an example, let's say if we go to our avatars. Oh, here's another one. Let's see. These are some of mine that I've made for Swing Point Media. So you can see I have several different, what we call iterations of me, and I put myself in a green screen so I can change the background anytime I want. And then what I'll do is I can have it create the video. And again, this is an avatar. It's not me. It's a representation of me. And then I can go back in and change the background. These others are avatars that are within the system, and I just had it speak out if you will, the script. But today I really want to talk about how valuable it is that you can actually create all these videos, but you don't have to be on camera. And now let me step back for just a second and say, here's a cool thing. As a digital marketing agency, for us, we can now do this at scale for you as a client. And what I mean by that, well, let's say, for instance, you're camera shy and you're busy, but you want to leverage the power of video. Well, now you can go in and create your voice, your tonality, and say, let's make a video for John, who is a plumber in Palm Desert, California. And we want to talk about, what's that noise in the wall of my house? Well, it could be bad strapping for pipe in the wall, and every time somebody turns it on, it has a little vibration. But that little video right there can be generated using artificial intelligence. Well, this is just one of those tools that you could use. So is this a push for HeyGen? It's not. I used to use another product called Synthesia. Synthesio at the time, this was probably 3.5, 4 years ago, it was the best at what it did. And then HeyGen came out, and I'm like, okay, I kept looking at it and watching it. Now it is what I would call the best on the market for creating these realistic videos that you can now put out and not feel like, oh yeah, everybody knew I was a robot. You really can't tell that anymore. They are so good that it's really hard to tell the difference. So that was my big deal today. I just want to come on and just share. Here's another client or a dear friend. Her name is Elizabeth, and all these again are videos made with her avatar. And we got her in, I think, about 4 different settings. And then from that point on, we could then create all kinds of videos. Well, here's the coolest thing, gang. If you do this now with Avatar 5, Avatar 5 is this piece where we said, hey, you know what? I can now drop an image. As long as I have a video in there, I can drop an image in there, and I can make me anywhere. I can change my outfit. Like, as an example, these videos that you saw with me before that were back here, like this video, I couldn't change I couldn't change the outfit. Now I can say, put, in this case, Ryan in a red golf shirt with a logo from that company, and it would do that. And I could change the background so that it represents that business. Before, I couldn't do that. Now you can do that. So anyway, these are some things I just want to share with you today. Yes, gang, great globe. There's a gang out here. A gang is more than 2 people. So we have 3 or 4 people that are here. We've had as many as 15. So thanks for joining me. If you have any questions about this, just drop it in the chat. This is really all I wanted to talk about. I just want to talk about how the barrier to doing great video work for your business, for your local business, has come way down. And you don't have to be an expert at it. As you saw, may have seen at the very beginning, I could have done my first video in my pajamas. And then from that point on, I can put myself in a business suit. I can put myself, out in the business world, whatever I needed to do, and go from there. And now it's just the only thing holding you back is your level of imagination. All right. Well, that's about all I have for today. Everybody, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.